So great day, everybody. It's Phil Hahn from eXp Realty, and I'm sitting here with the one and only Paul Rushforth. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Phil. Thanks for having me on, bud.
Yeah, no worries. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Doing
Good.
great.
Good. How are things in Ottawa today?
Good. We've had some really cold weather over the last few weeks, so it's been tough to get outside and get some exercise and get some fresh air. But today it's about 4 or 5 degrees and sunny, so it's nice. We're supposed to have a good weekend. We're supposed to get into the double digits finally. So,
Yeah,
obviously,
phenomenal.
I live on the bad side of Canada. You live on the good side of
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed here. We're pretty blessed here. Have you been spending any time at the cottage at all, or have you had a chance to go up to the bay? Or
Not really. I'm going to go up this weekend, spend some time up there, but I've been, believe it or not, I've been busier in the last 4 weeks or however long this has been, 4.5 weeks. I've been busier in those 4.5 weeks than I've ever been in real estate. But it's, just trying to find different ways to motivate the team and keep the team going. I have some people that are they're not interested in face-to-face appointments, which that's their decision.
yeah,
And some people are, but the one thing I tell them, I said, number one, health and safety is number one.
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Number two, you have to move your business forward. I don't care how you're doing it. You have to move your business forward. And then number three, load the cannons. Load the cannons. Because when we come out of this, we're doing this V. When we come out of it, we're going. And the people who are ready are going to be on board. The people who aren't are going to die.
Phenomenal. Yeah, no, that's some great input. So tell me what a typical day looks like for you right now.
Right now I'm up at about 6:30 in the morning. I usually do potentially about a 10K walk in the morning.
Okay.
Then I will train my team every single morning at 10 a.m. We are on a Zoom call.
Okay.
It's an optional Zoom call, so we don't get 100% of the people on. But it's just a way for me to check in, see their faces, keep them motivated. I do information on the market every single morning, so I let them know, how many homes have sold in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, just to keep them motivated. So, the word on the street is that the market's not moving, and that is incorrect. The market is moving. So I want my team to know that. I want to keep them motivated and keep them hungry, and just I'm teaching them ways to do business in a different way, in a new way. Then after that, I'll jump back on the road and I'll do another probably maybe 5-kilometer walk. And then every day at noon, 9 Pacific your time, Tom Ferry gets on and does an hour of training for everyone.
Yeah.
So I listen to that for an hour, and then I usually hit the road again. And then I'll either do another Zoom call or potentially just go to the office and do a little bit of work, or stay here at my house and do a little bit of work. That's my day is every day now.
Yeah, phenomenal, and congratulations on the walking. I mean, we were together in Vegas this past year, and you just you've really toned it up and chiseled it up. So good for you, man. That's amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what, Phil. It was actually you who it was actually you who got me to look in the mirror a little bit. We were in Vegas together, and actually I looked at pictures of me a year and a half ago in Italy. I was 270 pounds, and I was a big fat guy. I was out of shape. And I still am out of shape, but I'm working my way into getting back into shape. But I remember you working, a lot of our lunches and dinners, you worked on a lot of mindset for me and helped me with my mindset, get my mind a little more clear. And I realized when I came home, I just had to get my butt in action and start exercising. So I hit the gym right away. I've been hitting the gym ever since December 1st, I think it was. I started hitting the gym. And I'm down to 245 pounds. I've lost 25 pounds, which is thanks to you, actually.
Yeah.
You were a big driving force to get me where I am today, so I appreciate that.
Thanks, buddy. Well, we definitely had to work off all that food and fun that we had in Vegas, because that was a great time. So, and Mike, so when you were playing hockey, what was your playing weight? Because I know you were a professional hockey player, for many years. What was your weight there?
I was about 6'1", 215 to 217 pounds, but I was pretty chiseled. I was a chiseled 215, 217, and to get up to 270 is almost embarrassing. And so now I'm getting under that 250 was a goal of mine. I got under that 250, and now I'd like to get down to. I want to be realistic. I'll never get to 215, 217 again. It's just not realistic for my body type. But I'd like to get down to about 225 would be a good goal for me.
Yeah. How many years did you play pro hockey, Paul?
Played 10 years of pro, retired at the age of 30, mainly from concussions and injuries. And we had my daughter at the time, and my last 4 years were as a player assistant coach in London, England. And it was just so far to be away from my parents and my wife's parents with a young daughter. They missed her so much. So it was time. My head was starting to go on me, and it was time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, wow. So when did you get into real estate?
2000, I think I got in right at the tail end of 2003, but I like to say 2004 because that's when I really hit the road running.
Right.
So 2004, I started at a little mom and pop shop called Minto Realty, as you know, with my mom who was working there at the time. I actually,
great lady.
I was very nervous at the time. I'd never really had a job because my whole job was training for hockey, so I didn't really have a job. So this is my first foray into the workforce, and so I wanted to join my mom. I wanted to be a buyer agent for my mom, and my mom said no. And I said, "What do you mean no?" She said, "You're going to make it, kid. You don't need to be my buyer agent." So that year, I succeeded out of fear. To be honest, my first year, I sold 69 homes in the business, and I just succeeded out of fear.
Yeah, and then you came over to KW. I remember that. When was that? When did you end up joining KW, and why?
Well, I joined because of you. No, it's funny. It's funny when you're a real estate agent and I was with Minto Realty. You don't really, it was a small mom and pop, and you must have saw something in me that could see me. I needed to belong to something a little bit bigger, and so you were after me for quite a while to join Keller Williams. And it was basically brand new to Ottawa. Keller Williams was at the time.
That's right.
And you just showed me the merits and the advantages of being with a trading focused company, which I wasn't getting with Minto Realty. And you were my sponsor with Keller Williams, and I joined because of you. You showed me the way.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that was a great time. And I remember, Paul, what was extremely impressive is that you were implementing everything in the MREA book, like following it like a playbook, the 8x8, the 33 or 32 touch, all those systems. I remember you had it dialed in, and it was so darn impressive how your trajectory was just, like this. It was, absolutely unbelievable. In fact, to the point where you ended up being the number one realtor in Ottawa, the number one realtor in the country, and the number one realtor for Keller Williams worldwide.
Yeah, that was 2009. Yeah, I think so. I got into real estate 2007. I think you had left, or it was 2004. Sorry, I think you left when 2007.
So I relocated to the West Coast summer of 06. Yeah.
06. Okay, so in 2007, the year following you being number one in Ottawa, I was number one in Ottawa in 2007. In 2008, following you as the number one Keller Williams in Canada, I was the number one Keller Williams in Canada in 2008. Then in 2009, we were number one in the world, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, amazing. And the hard work and the commitment and the discipline. So what was your, we talk about USPs and unique selling propositions and what compels the consumer to do business with, someone else, Paul Rushworth Real Estate, or do nothing at all. What have you found to be your most successful USP or unique selling proposition in your business?
Well, because I was part of the Proctor program with you as well in 2006, 7, 8 or something like that, whenever it was, they had a lot of USPs that I took on, basically, like, your home sold in 90 days or it's free. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was doing that one, and you were the first one in Ottawa to do the guaranteed sale, basically your home sold or I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You were the first one in Ottawa to do that. And I remember I was doing the 90 days are free. And I think the word you used was pussy, I think you called me. And you kept saying to me, it's easy, Paul, it's easy. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. So after you left, I was known as the guy in Ottawa who bought homes. I was known as the guy who did the guaranteed sale program. And I just, it went from, you had to buy one of my listings, then I'd buy your home, to you don't even have to buy a listing with me. As long as you buy with me, then I'll buy your home. Then it came to the point, I don't even care if you buy with me, I'll guarantee your home regardless.
Right.
So, and I branded it on everything. I mean, that's one other thing you taught me too, is about branding. I branded it on my trucks. I branded it on anything, my stationery, my radio ads, everything was branded with, your home sold or I'll buy it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you crushed it. And I know you had another really cool concept, from lot to key without the fee. Let's talk about that, because that blew my mind.
Yeah, so I teamed with a local builder here who had quite deep pockets, and so I started my own home building company, and I called it Rutley Homes. And we developed a system with the builder that he would hold the whole mortgage. So instead of having all these draws for this new construction, he'd hold the mortgage, and then you just have to get a mortgage at the end.
Okay.
So I called it lot to key without the fee. So
Yeah.
meaning, you didn't have to pay anything for that brand new house until you close on it. So it was just like a resale home.
Yeah.
So I branded that a lot on the radio too, and we took off. We sold lots of new construction homes, and I had a falling out with one of my partners, and I stopped doing it, and which was a mistake. I should have kept doing it myself, but I just got into other things. I started my TV show, and I was so busy with that, and it was just I didn't have time after that.
Yeah. And how's you're also very active on the radio, correct? Is it CFRA?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that and how that's been beneficial in growing your business and helping people.
It's been instrumental. It's my number one lead source. I could be in Toronto and I could be sitting on a bench talking to someone. Someone will stop and say, "Hey, you're the real estate radio guy." So it's here in Ottawa. I do lots of ads on 4 different radio stations, but my radio show, which is a national syndicated show, is every Saturday from 11 to 12 on CFRA. And we get thousands of listeners every week on that. And and the one thing about my show is I don't go on there too hard and this and that about me. I just give up content and information and just try to educate people.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
It's been great.
What are some other great lead generation sources that have been successful for you?
Well, another one where I stole from you actually was the logoed up vehicles. I remember you used to have your logoed up Hummer, and I used to try to follow you. Yeah, I remember that. And so I started wrapping vehicles, and then I started paying agents on my team to wrap their vehicles. And then so I have 14, 15, 16 vehicles driving around town with logos on them.
Wow.
3 moving trucks where I give to people to help them move to, and they're all logoed up as well. Yeah. So we get a lot of leads from our logoed vehicles. We get a lot of leads from our radio ads. And then we do a lot of things like Google pay-per-click, retargeting, lots of SEO stuff. So we're very, my assistant Jocelyn's just brilliant when it comes to that stuff.
She's amazing.
She just runs the whole marketing engine that we have going.
Yeah. So. And how, getting back to administration, and how important is it to have a strong administrative team, when you're operating at that type of a level?
It's everything. Absolutely everything. And the biggest mistakes that teams make is they grow like this. They have one admin and they keep growing with agents, and it falls apart. And I learned a hard lesson. I can't remember what year, but it was early in my career. We were already doing a few hundred homes a year. And Jocelyn was my only administrator. And she was so good. She could close deals. She did the listing. She did all the advertising. She did everything. And I kept growing agent. I had about 6 or 7 agents with just Jocelyn. And then she went on maternity leave. She had a baby. And I had to hire someone, and it was a train wreck. And I realized that you have to hire out like this and up like that. And so I have a really strong administrative team, and you have to. I mean, yes, it costs money to have an administrative team, but if you want to grow your business to the level where we are, you have to have a strong administrative team.
Yeah. My goodness. And speaking of that level, like what does a typical great year look like for the Paul Rushforth team now in terms of, closed transactions and gross commission income?
2018, we did 693 sales. So keep in mind, I only have 13 agents too, so I don't have a huge team. It's 13 agents.
So highly productive.
Yeah, I haven't sold a home since 2010, so I'm not in production myself.
Yeah.
But 2018, we did 693 sales. Last year, we did 660. This year, we were on pace until this pandemic. We were on pace for about 750.
Okay.
But, obviously, we're not going to hit that now with the slowdown.
Right.
As far as GCI goes, our best year was 2018. We did 5.3 million GCI.
Wow. Phenomenal.
So that was our best year. We're usually anywhere between 5 and 5.3 when it comes to GCI.
And that's all resale business primarily. You don't do new development or anything like that, or builder business. It's all pretty much resale and representing home buyers and families and sellers, right?
100% resale. Yeah. We're not attached to. I have been attached to a couple builders a few years back, but they'd give me a few resale houses to sell for them. So it was nothing like marketing a building and then slapping my name on 50 different sales. That's not what we're doing.
Right. Now, you've also got next to no turnover. Like, your team is very tight, and people, when they join the Paul Rushforth team, they tend to stick around for a while. What do you attribute that to?
Culture.
Right?
Yeah, like I've had lots of people wanting to join my team that are rock stars, but they just weren't the right culture fit. And if you're not the right culture fit, I don't want you on my team.
Hmm.
Few years, but probably about 7, 8 years ago, I actually let go of my top producer. She just
Hmm.
wasn't a culture fit anymore, and it just, unless you have a tight culture, it's really hard to have a solid company without turnover.
Right.
I've had, you look at the position as an inside sales agent where you're on the phone, nonstop, and you think that's a burn and churn position. That'd be a turnover for sure.
Hmm.
I've had my inside sales agents have been with me. So I have 5 of them. 2 of them are over 10 years, one
Yeah.
at 9 years. And my lowest tenured one is, I think, is 6 years. So we don't get a lot of turnover, but we're a very close knit group.
Hmm.
We make sure we do lots of events and activities together.
Hmm.
And it's just, I mean, my sole job right now, because I'm not selling homes, is my clients are my teams, is
Hmm.
my team. That they're
Right.
my clients. I'm trying to keep them happy. And so that's my sole job, is to keep them happy and educated and trained and make sure that they're loving where they work.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job of it. My goodness. And talk about your community efforts and what you do in the community in terms of contribution there as well. Like I know that you guys sponsor so many teams and hockey associations and this and that, and let's talk about that.
Well, you know what? I'm very fortunate I'm able to do that, to be honest with you. I think it's your duty if you're able to contribute. I mean, these are the people that are helping me get to where I need to go.
Yeah.
So, my job to help them get to where they want to go. So I do a annual golf tournament every year I've changed some of my sponsors at the time, my charities, sorry.
Hmm.
I've done do it for Darren, the Orleans Cumberland Resource Center, Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group. We do a lot of, picnics in the park for CHIO. We do lots of charity involvement, and I like my team to get involved in that too, to give back. And I'm not a big fan of just stroking a check. I like
Right.
to actually just get my hands dirty and get in there and help those charities as well. Because
Yeah.
anyone can stroke a check,
Yeah.
but I like to be able to get involved and actually work with that money to make a difference in people's lives.
So what advice would you have for someone starting out brand new right now in this pandemic with COVID-19, and what would be your 3 top your pieces of advice to move forward to build something?
Number one, you have to figure out that lead gen. You have to be able to generate leads. Number 2, presentations. You have to know how to present to somebody. Number 3, master the DISC personality profiling. You have to be able to do that. Otherwise, the presentations don't matter. And if I was brand new, starting all over again, which I did when I was still practicing, open houses. Get out and meet people. Do open houses. But find a way to generate leads. Find a way to master a presentation. Learn that DISC. Get a contact management system, and do open houses. Would be my five things that I tell people to do if they're brand new getting into the business.
Yeah, fantastic. And where do you see, and this is a loaded question, but where do you see, organized real estate and the disruptors and all that, 5 years, 10 years down the road? What do you see, happening in terms of traditional real estate?
Well, it's funny, Phil. I know I've come to a couple EXP conferences with you, and I love the EXP model. I think it's brilliant. And to be honest with you, my only reluctance of not joining EXP is because I still am my own brand, and I am the brand in Ottawa, and I have that fear. But if I was a team with a Remax, a Roll LePage, or a Keller Williams, or whoever, any other company, I would probably be looking at the EXP model. And the one thing that it's kind of taught me going through this pandemic is bricks and mortars might be dead. Like my team is more productive and more effective right now working from home.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
They really are. They really are. My assistant Jocelyn is just crushing it with marketing and advertising right now, sitting in her kitchen.
Yeah.
And I look at these buildings that I have. I have a Canada building. I have an Orleans building. I have massive mortgages, and nobody's in them right now. We're still functioning,
Yeah.
So, there's still going to be a place for traditional real estate. There definitely will be a place for traditional real estate,
Yep.
but there are some disruptors and some solid companies like EXP that are a great option, a very good option. And I've had some friends here in Ottawa who've joined EXP, and they're very happy with it.
That's awesome. Well, Paul, listen, we won't keep you. I want to thank you very much for your time, and a huge congratulations on your staying power in this business and constantly reinventing yourself and getting stronger and keeping that axe sharp. You've been a tremendous leader in the community and in the real estate industry, and a true pioneer. And I'm honored to have this time with you, and to be your friend as well. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, Phil, I do want to thank you actually, because, I do have some mentors in this business, you being one of them. Darren Hardy, I had the fortune of spending time with and being in a mastermind with Darren Hardy.
Great guy.
Tom Ferry, who's my real estate coach, is just phenomenal.
Great
and just
coach.
An unbelievable human. And you've taught me a lot. I mean, you were my early days in real estate when I was brand new and you were like a legend here in Ottawa. You took the time to teach me how to do real estate properly. So I do appreciate that. And I love what you're doing with a lot of these people that you're bringing on for EXP. You're taking care of them, which is important, and you're training them, teaching them, and you're not in production anymore. But I don't know if people out there know how good you were at real estate, and still are. But you were the only reason I was #1 in Ottawa, Canada, and the world is because you left.
That's awesome, Paul. I appreciate that, man. Well, listen, I love you, brother. You have an amazing day. Keep up the great work, and for more info, folks, just reach out to me, and be happy to chat. Take care, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good day. Bye.
See you later.